Hey, and welcome to Unlearning Stress, the podcast where we break the rules and cycles that keep you overcommitted, overstretched, and just plain exhausted, and replace them with something better. No fluff, no guilt, just real talk, real solutions, and expert insights to help you shift the way you live. Whether you're here for the first time or you've been with me for a while, you're in the right place. I'm Michelle O'Neill, your resident emotional wellness coach, and I'm here to help you unlearn the patterns that are wearing you down so you can live with more ease, clarity, and control. Let's get to it. Let's go ahead and clear something up right now, right up front. You keep hearing that everything's about having balance, right? It's all about the balance. You just need to find the right routine or your stress is about poor boundaries or bad time management. No, you're not struggling with balance. What you're struggling with is preservation. And I bet I know what you're thinking. What does that even mean? What do you mean preservation? What does that even look like? Well, preservation means keeping something valued alive, intact, or free from damage or decay. And that something of value we're talking about here today is you. It's not hiding, it's not avoidance, it's not ghosting your life. That's not what we're talking about. It's knowing how much of you something takes and choosing not to spend it all there. This is not a burnout recovery conversation. This is a stay alive inside your life conversation. So, my question to you is, are you ready? So let's make this real. This isn't about theory, okay, or some new insight that I had during a sabbatical. This is about the days that you already live and probably think are just normal. It's just the way life is, it's just the way life has to be. Have you ever walked into a space like your job or even your own home and felt yourself bracing before you even speak? You know what I'm talking about. You're already calculating the mood in the room, already adjusting your tone so that you don't set someone off, already planning the best time to bring something up, if you bring it up at all. Look, that's not just emotional labor, that's emotional cost paid out before you've even said good morning. For some of you, it's your team, right? You love them with everything you've got, but anything can set them off. They've got a hair trigger. And now every conversation feels like walking through a minefield or on eggs. For others, it's a workplace where negativity and passive aggression are just part of the air. You prep before you even get there and you exhale once you leave, if you remember to. And sometimes it's your spouse, the one that you do life with, but they walk in the door carrying everything from their day, and you already know not to say too much too fast. Give them 30 minutes or an hour. Everybody has their own, and that's a conversation that y'all need to have up front. Look, I can go on and on about this, and you're not being sensitive or oversensitive. You're being smart. You just never called it preservation. It's not the task, it's not the person. It's what you're expensing just to stay steady through it all. That's what we're naming today, preservation. Let me say this: preservation doesn't mean disappearing. It doesn't mean cutting people off or avoiding every hard thing. If that's the case, then you need to go in a bubble somewhere because it's not going to happen. What it does mean is that you stop handing your sanity and peace over like Well, like it's disposable. It means you get to say, not now, not this way, and not at my expense. And preservation looks different for every woman. For me, it meant slowing down just enough to actually ask myself, what am I walking into right now? Do I even have the capacity for it? Or am I about to override myself out of habit? It meant noticing how certain conversations felt or left me feeling drained, not because of what you said or what was said, but because of how much I had to manage myself just to get through them. Sometimes it's as simple as telling someone, look, I'm too emotionally close to this right now to talk about it. And then not justifying that, not defending it, just letting that be enough. Sometimes it looks like putting something on the calendar instead of having the conversation in the heat of the moment. Even if that means you have to walk out of the room. And at work, you're probably wondering, what does that look like? Get creative. Set invisible limits. Maybe that looks like no heavy talk before 10 a.m. and make sure everybody knows that rule. Or a playful accountability jar because everyone's always complaining or negative. So put a quarter in it every time someone complains. Make it fun, not to change them, but to shift the environment and how it affects you and others. These aren't power moves. I know they sound great, but they're sanity keepers. Look, when you start treating your energy like it's yours to manage, not everyone else's to borrow, you show up differently. You're not bracing, you're not scanning the room, you're not losing yourself to keep the peace. You're in the room, but still present with yourself. I had to learn how to read myself before I even walked into rooms that didn't know how to read me. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to preserve ourselves. So let's be honest. Most of us are living inside situations that we can't control. We can't change who your boss is. You can't rewrite your teenager's wiring. You can't always get a new job or press reset on your family dynamics. Yeah, it would be great if we could, but there's no easy buttons in life. But what you can do is start paying attention to what those environments do to you before, during, and after. Start noticing how you feel before you even enter certain rooms. Does your stomach clench? Are you holding your breath without realizing it? Is your mind already running conversations that haven't happened yet? Trying to find the safest tone, the least triggering words? And afterwards, do you feel wrung out, irritated, like you have nothing left for yourself, even if nothing explosive had happened? That doesn't dictate how you feel. It doesn't have to be explosive to be depletive. That's what emotional depletion looks like. And most of it call it, well, I'm just tired. No, it's more than tired. At least more than that physical tired. That's why I say it's not about removing everyone from your life. It's about learning to read your own signals so that you can choose what you're available for. You don't have to take on every conversation. You don't have to react the moment someone walks in the door. You don't have to match everyone else's mood. just to keep things light. Sometimes it's just saying, I can't talk about that right now. Or let's come back to this when I have time to really think about it. Or even, like I said earlier, just walking away for a moment and grounding yourself. The real work isn't about controlling them. It's about noticing how you've been disappearing and choosing not to anymore. That's the beginning of self preservation. That's the beginning of living in real time. There's a moment that I think every woman hits when she finally protects her energy, when she says no, or steps back, or lets something go. And she realizes nothing bad happened. Nobody exploded. And she didn't fall apart. The world didn't cave in. And that's the moment preservation gets real. Because now it's not theory any longer. It's not a podcast episode. It's a felt experience. You said no, and wow, you stayed whole. That's when you start choosing differently. Not because you're trying to control everything, but because you finally stopped treating your energy like it's endless. Preservation doesn't mean disappearing. It means deciding what stays alive in you and what doesn't get to keep eating you up inside. That's the quiet work, not the work that gets celebrated, but the work that keeps you from disappearing in a life that you built for everyone else but yourself. And if you're listening to this thinking, this is me, this is exactly how and what I've been living, then it might be time to name the pattern behind it all. I created a free emotional pattern quiz to help you do just that, to see what you've been carrying and how to start releasing it on your own terms. And you know what? You can find out how you can take this quiz in the show notes. No pressure, just permission to find out what your pattern is. And until next time, I loved this conversation. And I think it was so important. And I'm glad you were here with me today. Until next time, take care. Bye bye. If this episode hits home, don't just push it aside. Lean into it. Subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And connect with me on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Substack, where we go even deeper. Links will be in the comments. And if you're ready to start unlearning the patterns that keep you stuck, keep listening, because real change happens one choice at a time. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.